Okay, I've tried to record this like 3 different times and I keep realizing that like, because I've done absolutely no prep, things are not where they are supposed to be. It's Friday morning. Let's talk about art journaling. I have done work in this art journal. I've like done a bunch of writing, but it's all stuff I don't necessarily want other people to see. I did glue these fortunes in. You will soon receive good news of a personal nature. That was my husband's. And your desire to discover new frontiers will lead you far. That's mine, which is interesting because in therapy this week, I did sort of realize that my primary driver is and has been for a while curiosity. So that's interesting, that it's sort of like implying that my curiosity will lead me far, which it already has. I hope it continues to. I also showed y'all that I got a Platinum Preppy. I actually thought that I had a Platinum Preppy, but instead I had a Pilot Petite. Two very different looking pens that I constantly mix up. I always called them both the Pilot Preppy. Both of these pens I refer to as the Pilot Preppy. So when I went to Oblation looking for a semi-waterproof ink, and the clerk was like, "Do you have a Platinum Preppy?" I was like, "I sure do." I don't. So I had to buy this, but I also bought, it's for this Platinum Carbon ink, because it's supposed to be semi-waterproof. So I wrote here, and we're just gonna try it out and see how waterproof that is. I'm gonna drip, so that's a drip of water on there. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I'm gonna take this guy and just soak it. God, that's great. That's so good. Because my Kokuyo burgundy that I was using in a different pen here. Let's see. This doesn't have Kokuyo ink in it. I can't remember what this has in it. Oh, this has Sailor. Shikidori is what it's called. See, this is what normal fountain pen ink does when you get water on it, which is not great when you have a journal that you regularly watercolor in a state like Oregon where it's just almost always drizzling. So that's awesome. This ink will be what I use for my primary writing in here so that it doesn't get washed away whenever water touches it, which was like my primary complaint about that journal. Now, I have my Hobonichi. Also, this came off one of my fountain pens when I was re-inking them the other day. I have no idea which one. Probably one of my more antique ones because it's got sort of patina on the inside. But so far, they all work without it, so. So if you recall last time I did this, I gessoed out 2 pages in my Hobonichi. And this is what I was going for. So it is currently August 2nd. So this week hasn't happened yet, which is why you'll see that I have writing. It's covered because it's, important. I don't know what this is. This is in my calendar. I don't know what it is. I don't know who's putting it on. I don't know where they are. I don't know if I need tickets. We'll just see. Obviously it's a fat person thing, but I don't know for whom. My company's closed on Monday. I'm teaching my decolonizing management class on Tuesday. But the plan was, because what you're looking at is already, she's an old version. This is like 1.2. I would put things, so here, Saturday is actually a perfect example because you can see it Sunday too. I would put an event in this column that is a plan, And then I would put what we actually did in this column. And I started doing that in my Stology, which of course I can't show you because it has a bunch of like company specific information. But I realized really quickly, because I was doing that for last week, this week that we're in, that is just ending right now, I realized really quickly that I fucking hate this. And the reason I hate it is because this is not enough time. This is not enough space. This is not a day. This is not a day's worth of information. Like, there's so many things I do in a day, and I know I have this guy to be my personal art journal. But this is like more, as I was sort of thinking about it, this is not for log keeping. This is for planning, this is for sketching, this is for dreaming. If we're documenting what's going on, it's because I'm like painting it or like writing about it. It's not just for like a quick, had lunch or, you know, what I had for lunch. This is supposed to be that, but it is too small. It is physically too small to contain my days. And I was like, well, what if I use the days in the background, in the back? Every single day has a whole ass page. I could write what I meant to do and what actually happened, which might be what happens. I might come back to the Hobonichi and do that in it. Because I love the Hobonichi. I love the Tomoe River paper, although I think that the Tomoe River paper, this is the 2024. 2025 is going to be, I think, the final form of the new Tomoe River paper, because they had to do some I don't know. They had to do something with the formula. I don't really know what's going on. It's all complicated. But I feel like from the changeover to this paper, the 2024 paper, and what I'm hearing about the 2025 paper, which is different still from this. This is different from 2023. It's less sturdy. And that is going to be a big problem for me because, as you can tell, I am not kind to my journals. I am not gentle. I am a little bit of a rough user. So, I don't know, maybe I'm leaving Hobonichi at the right time. I'm not sure, but here is what I am doing now. I don't even have my backpack open, so this isn't even like a smooth transition. It's Friday, and I'm supposed to be doing this for like artistic, you know, investing in my art practice. So it is what it is. This was $19 at Office Depot. I opened it up and I just really liked the cream color of the pages. I found myself just like sort of touching it a lot, like touching the paper, which I'm not sure what kind of paper this is. I went and looked at the brand. This is now bought, I don't know if it was when this was made or what, but this now is owned by some large, I don't know, like they supply like Michael's stores with like craft kits and also journals. But they don't have like a storefront of their own, so you can only buy them through like other vendors. So I couldn't get any information on the paper. It feels, maybe it's 50 GSM, maybe. Don't take my word for it. I'm not like that. I'm not like that well versed. It doesn't feel like 60. Maybe it's 52. It also feels like it might have some cloth or cotton content. I kind of don't think it does because of how cheap it was, but it has that feel. It's a little bit toothy. It's a little bit like the pages that I have started working on are like immediately softer, more pliable, more flexible, more buttery. I really like that. That's got my phone number in it. So we're not going to do that. But I was thinking, here's my table of contents. Oh, also another thing I can show you is the very first page where I put this big sticker and then I just painted around it. And I think I'm going to do some painting around the edge that maybe goes onto the sticker. We'll see how the gouache takes with the sticker. But since I have to set up a new week anyway, I thought I'd do that with y'all here. And then I've got, because it's blank, I can do whatever I want with the pages. So it's like, what is something you're proud of today? What is something you're grateful for today? I just put my husband and then some other stuff. How does curiosity motivate me? So these are like the questions I'm asking in my day-to-day life. What else am I motivated by other than fear? So how something feels in my hands, human connection, a good sound, my ability to create change. So now I was thinking I would make my week and I'll show you what I do to make that happen. First of all, I usually use like a Sharpie, but actually I think I would like to see how this paper tolerates water. So I'm going to use my water pen and get my trusty paint towel so I can dry this off a little bit, and my Daniel Smith Artist Materials palette to paint in my weather line. So the first line is always the weather. Let's do this like pink I got. Oh, and by the way, I finished my palette. Everything is now a real paint pan and not something I Franken painted. But yeah, I'm just gonna put this in like this. It's interesting painting in such a bigger book. Like you have to draw for a lot longer. You have to like, you know, pay a lot more of attention to how much paint is on your brush. But so far this is going on fairly cleanly. I don't really see it pilling or doing anything like that. I do see it creating sort of grains like the Stology did last week, which I'm not entirely a fan of. I also have like a little bit of a spacing issue here because the way the columns that represent each day sort of end up sort of falling out. It's a little bit weird. And it's mostly weird because of this line, which I thought was going to be a very helpful line, and is in some ways. But also, it's just a little bit weird sized. It's about 4 centimeters. And so that's what I make the rest of my columns. But, you know, it's kind of not. So let's take the ruler. It's just a little bit under 4 centimeters, but I make the rest of my columns 4 centimeters, and that seems to work. I'm actually going to put that paint aside because I have an idea, especially if this dries fine. But let me get, that's not it. Let me get my micron pen actually. Oh, and there's the other ones, weather, and then there's priority, and then there's priority number 2 and priority number 3. So that also needs a line. And we can do this to separate them. Cool. And then let's see. Four, 8, 12. I don't know if you can hear Socrates snoring in the background. 4, 8, 12. Then we draw this line, and actually, I think I'm going to start extending it down. And then we draw this line. And that should actually go all the way up. Boop, boop. And then we draw this line. And then we do it again on the other side. So 4, 8. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we do the same on this side. 4, 8, 12, 16. And then like this, and then like this. I had said that I am going to start every day with some kind of artistic practice, and that could be as easy as setting up this journal or updating it or something like that. But this day is actually a little bit complicated because I basically have back to back everything all day long until like 10 p.m. And most of that is family social stuff. But I kind of am like in the middle of like asking myself, like, was that the right decision? Should you have skipped like art practice today? I went all the way up, but I did. And I straight up don't know. I don't know if this time is really centering me. I think it kind of is. I feel like it is. And I had told myself that what I was going to do is I was going to prioritize starting the day with some kind of artistic practice. And I know this isn't like super artistic, but it's nice because it's like working with pens, working with paint, working with color. And then I do this, 6 a.m. p.m. to b.m. I'm actually wondering, can you see this whole thing? I set up the camera so that the Hobonichi fits in here. So I put that there, and then I put it here. Because I have the hardest time following a line across a page. I don't know if it's because of my astigmatism or what, but it is the worst. Six a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight. Amazing, perfect. And then I put the dates up here, and I have been doing different things to try and put the dates, like figure out what I want for the dates, like what I want to be there. Let me see. I think this might be, the Happy Planner stickers might be long enough now. Because when I would buy these, I would always have to cut them down for the Hobonichi. I'm looking for those little tabbies. Are they in here? I think they're not in this one. I think they're in this one. Come on, buddy. Come out of my backpack. This one. Oh yeah, here they are. And the thing is, I would buy these sticker books and use a bunch of these stickers so rarely. Because they never fit my Hobonichi. And now they do, I think. Yep, that's just under 4 centimeters. That should be perfect. And it's just like, I don't know, it's a whole new way of engaging with my planner. I was never really a sticker person because, first of all, those are expensive. Second of all, I was never really in a position that I could just sit and plan for, you know, 30 minutes or whatever. Like, if I was able to sit and plan for 30 minutes, I had to keep it highly mobile because I never knew where I was going to be day to day or what was going to be going on when I got that time. And now that's not really my life anymore. I'm here in this office most of the time. And even when I'm going from meeting to meeting, there's Zoom meetings, so I don't have to have the most mobile, transportable planner. And then when I do need something that's like easy to go mobile, I have my art journal. So this can just be work and scheduled activities and logging things that I actually do. And I don't know if this is going to be the final solution. I don't know if this is going to be the final layout. It's pretty awkward, to be honest, putting this here and this here. And then I think the other time I put this here too, so I can just see where the numbers are. I think that I would get fucking bored writing out the numbers every single week. And I think that, like, potentially my next planner is going to be something that I just design and print myself. Which is going to be its own journey because I don't know what kind of paper the printers have available. And I think it changes depending on which printer I use. There is a local printer that I love that's a union printer, but I don't know. I don't think they make this kind of stuff, but I will ask them, of course. So this, I forgot what the fuck date this is supposed to be. But also this has gone on long enough. But basically what I do is in this planner. Oh, and I got a new pencil case. I was at Target and I went by the back to school section to see if they had a fucking phone stand. They did have a phone stand, but it was locked behind a thing, and me and this other lady were just standing there pressing the button like every 5 minutes for like 30 minutes, and then I was like, I got shit to do, I gotta go. So I just bought it online, the phone stand. But here's my new pen card holder. My old one, my little cute boba one, I loved it so much, but the problem is whenever I wanted to get to these things, this like lead, the glue, the eraser, things I've been needing more and more lately, I couldn't because it was buried at the bottom of that stand-up planner. This I can store stood up, and then I can open it and do this, and every pin is right there and I don't have to worry, and then the little short ones don't get lost. Like, it's just a better system. But anyway, how I'm going to use this, how I've been using this all week and very happy with it, is I write down my plan, right, whatever my plan is, there in this size of font, and then I can come in, pretend this is a fountain pen, and, you know, say what happened instead. Like, you know, if it went to plan, then it went to plan, but maybe I ate some like fruit while I was doing that plan, or maybe I like bought a shirt. I can just write that around that, and my plan and what happens is very clearly delineated by the fact that the plan is in pencil and the reality is in ink, which is what I was trying to do in my Hobonichi, but there just was not room. And so having these wider columns, that's the deal, that's the business, that's what I needed, which I don't even know, this does not feel that much wider. Let me see. How much wider is this than a Hobonichi weeks column? Let's see if we can get a blank weeks. So here's the weeks, and here's the one I make. So the weeks is 3 centimeters. Basically, all I'm getting is a fingernail's worth of difference, and it's fixing everything. And I don't know in the weeks, like, how could I achieve that? How could I achieve that? How could I? I mean, I guess I could try and white this out and just move everything over. But that's a lot of whited out and a lot of writing on whited out shit and moving these lines. And then one of the reasons I didn't like this is because trying to write on that gesso was it was just awful. The feedback was horrible, and I think it was not friendly to my pens too. So this is the business for now. And I really like that on these pages that have more, that been handled more, they're softer. They're nice, and so like these are kind of crisp. And the pages that have been handled more, without showing you, I don't know, they're less crisp. They're more lived in. They're more elastic. Like when you put a tortilla on the comal and it sort of relaxes. That's what they feel like, and they make me happy. And so I think I'm going to continue to do this for a while. I will see you later.